Okay, so did you want to do some stuff in game?
Okay, yeah. So what I wanted to talk about was just we've done this before. I think what did we do on a European stream? I think we did it.
Yes, it was a nuke game.
So what we have like sometimes a segment of like little afterthoughts of stuff we show you in the game, like nades and just like strategies and stuff. So what I want to show you, if we jump into the game, what I want to show you guys is what has tended to be kind of somewhat of like the default ways that teams actually create options for themselves, and how they kind of how they actually work with the strategy. Oh my god, I need to turn to invert, James, please.
By the way, that knife is going to be given away to one of our subscribers once we hit 450,000 followers, and we will also be giving away an Orpazimov to one of our normal users.
Thank
Maybe.
God.
Well, it'll be completely open, but...
All right. What's the no clip?
Mouse 3.
Mouse 3, okay. Oh, wow. All right. So, of course, this is middle, guys. This is middle. All right.
Oh,
so, so what a lot of teams tend to do is, or at least LGB are quite good at this. So, typically, we'll see a standard round. You have like your one guy around slope. And this is important because imagine it's like Dust 2. On our default run in Dust 2, what do we do at the start of the T side? We want to send some players through upper dark. We want a guy outside a longhouse. And it's kind of like a similar concept. You don't want the CTs to be able to push you to work out what's happening. So you want like kind of one guy around here. And he can be quite defensive. Same goes for Palace. And the Palace guy as well, of course, we've seen CT teams, they sometimes like to get the push going, Palace, see what's going on, maybe get a 2-on-1, because this is an effective way to counter this kind of play. Get a quick 2-on-1 against the guy that's alone here for his team. So let's say you got those two guys there at the start of the round. This is a very bread and butter strategy, by the way. And the next objective is to take connector control. So how do, and this can give us a lot of options to work with. But first of all, how do we actually get connector control? Well, the first thing we have to worry about is the CT timings. They can, of course, get their sniper to the window very quickly. They can even have pushes. They can have flashes that can go over the top to blind you. So often what you'll see is a slower start from Ts, even leaving one player here just to be defensive. And again, watch out for early aggressions. And the other two players will tend to actually push down towards underpass, or maybe just like try to get a quick pick here. Just like the players you're spotting, just show yourself, just to create some presence, so that the CTs are afraid. The doubt is there in their mind. The threat is greater than the action.
That's something that Virtus.pro do, actually. They run in there as soon as possible, also to bait the grenades from the CTs, just to try and get them to waste their resources sooner rather than later.
Exactly, yeah. That's also another really good point there from James, like wasting their resources, always good to think about. And then the other two players will eventually just make their way down this area in underpass and slowly make their way up. And this whole phase of this beginning of the round is for taking connector safely and not losing players. So you can definitely get the smokes in to try to do this. And I'm sure do you have some smokes for this, James?
For CPL, no, I don't have one which I'm happy with consistently from T-Spawn. That's like the only one I don't have.
All right, so basically, you can. There's many ways to take this, and you should watch pro level matches to see what kind of tactics they use, how they combine with each other to make this happen. But so you got the players who are making the kind of efforts to control here, and then being down here and providing presence also makes it really hard for the CT AWPer to freely peek this area because he's afraid of going deep. We see this very often. Even T's actually doing the little boost in these spots to get the angles onto the CT that's actually AWPing CPL. This then allows the guy who is in this area, who could be an AWPer, to actually push and try to get control of connector. Now, once you have the ability to do this, and let's say the smokes are up here to block the CTs from short, you can do it in many ways. You can either throw a deep smoke just to get your players in here. You can leave one guy here and send the other two guys back, reinforce the push on slope, and have like a 1-3-1. You can put two guys here. You can put the bomb here. Basically, when you have connector, you can reinforce the push in any which way that you like, but it's all about having the three prongs that we talked about. Because one of the examples we saw in the game was that the player that's on this angle puts pressure on the guy that's on stairs. What is the job of the guy that's on stairs? And why is Crims such a damn badass? It's because he's so good at being able to defend three angles at once, but not only that, supporting his teammates who are under attack in this area with counter flashes. However, if he gets distracted, if he gets attacked, then he's not able to counter flash when the push is coming in for his teammate who's playing the site. Or, for example, the guys who are pushing connector, they're able to quickly get up to jungle. So if this guy is unable to do anything, then the CTs who are rotating, they're kind of screwed as well. You can even try to pressure this area, and then who can get through this if someone's watching it? You won't be able to do it. So basically, what we're talking about here is just the power of connector. We're just trying to elaborate on what like a default round can look like, and how you can have 3 players here, 2 players here, 1 player here, It's it's just having someone here, basically. And one last point I'll make about this is James mentions quite a few times now that that some teams like to throw the deep smoke in here, and it lands around this area. And what this allows you to do is, if a teammate flashes you into this position, you can just take it with one player. And then this can become your lurker, essentially, because this guy has the ability then to just keep himself in this area, to listen, to hear what's going on. And if your team wants to play B or to play A, this guy can do a lot of damage. It allows you flexibility to make a mid-round call, depending on the situation. Even if you've lost a man or two, you can create plays from the guy that is in this position. Because CS is often going to be about players who need, because nothing's going to go perfectly. And sometimes you need a player who's in a position in the map to be able to destabilize the defense, or to have the information, or to create a play that gets your team back into the game. And it can often be a guy that's in a position like this. So that's just some brief thoughts from me on some general ideas behind connector play and how teams try to get towards connector and standard stuff that we see in pro level matches. Anything you want to add about this general topic, James? Or
well, I suppose just add a few smokes you can do, but first I have to get rid of your silly settings, Dan, and unreverse the mouse, which I just failed to do completely. Good, it's all fixed.
I changed the sensitivity as well, by the way. So
fine. What, you made it to 2, did you? God, doesn't matter. One thing you can do, let's say you're on an eco, and you have a scout, which I cannot buy. It doesn't always work on this for some reason. Let's check it out. Okay. So, let's get the smoke grenade out. There are 2 smokes you can do. If you stand in this corner here and just aim for the corner of that aerial, that's the smoke that makes it a little bit easier for you to jump into the middle of mid past the AWPer. But if you stand in this corner, then you get a sneakier smoke, which leaves a gap to the right-hand side. So obviously, if you're smoking this regularly to try and jump into mid, then again, this is on an eco. If you have a scout, you can get a sneaky position on an AWPer, because obviously they're normally going to be looking in the mid area, looking over here, looking over there. So that can give you a sneaky position to get a free kill. And this is something I saw Kukli do before he got vac banned. So shout outs to him from this area, which I'll show you in a second. But
can I make a quick point to add to your first smoke there, just really briefly?
Yeah, yeah.
So one thing CTs like to do when they feel that there's presence is, we saw it, there's lots of pop flashes that CTs can do from either over the top of the roof of connector or actually from short. And this encourages the CTs to think, oh, you know, we can safely peek from short, or we can safely peek from connector. And so what the smoke that James just showed us there is going to actually give them that false sense of security. So when they do peek from connector, or even from short in this instance, you will actually be able to see them and spray them down because of that small gap. So you'll have the advantage there if they're trying to peek you and play against your mid control. So sorry, continue. Okay,
quick thing here. This curb can give you a sneaky free kill onto short there, and also into CPL from, I think this is the main position is here actually. So you may see a bit of a head there or over here. But yeah, that smoke, well did it from flip side, does it from here, which is a lot safer, but I haven't practiced this angle yet. So if you have someone covering you, just look directly down onto this corner, aim over the sun, and this is with regards to an A push as well, or a fake. As you can see, it lands in a jungle area, which means that your teammates can come out of Palace without being held on an angle by an AWPer here. It also makes life a little bit easier for you here. And I think it makes it harder for the CTs because they have to worry about their backs now. They'll be paranoid because of that smoke, which may be a distraction for you if you're playing lower A. So that's a nice smoke to add to your repertoire. Obviously, it's not the safest smoke because if somebody is picking connector, then it's not going to work out so well for you. But yeah, it can be done from here as well. Just find your own angle, as I haven't practiced that one yet. And I think that's it. Oh, one more thing actually. Over here, you see the Super Mario Brothers being done by the CTs here all the time. If you are in this area, you can smoke that position off, which if you do regularly, then it makes things more difficult for the CTs in terms of fakes and so on. Basically, you jump and crouch and face that. You make sure you move to the right so you can see a bit of this wall. Then just aim roughly here. Doesn't need to be perfect. And
Nice.
that smokes off that position. And this is really good for ecos as well. Obviously, you can still hold an angle short, but there is a separate smoke for that. But if you're rushing, then it makes it... if you're just rushing through this smoke, then it makes it really hard for them to see you coming. You can throw Molotovs and nades into this area as well to stop the CTs holding this position. But that's just another smoke for you, which makes life a bit easier.
So yeah, I mean, as a closing point, just the discussion of mid control and how to build options and strategies as a T side. I'd recommend actually the two teams I'd recommend watching right now from Europe at least, because obviously I see the most games from there at the moment. I would probably say actually TSM, because they're actually doing that quite well at the moment. But most importantly, I would say LGB, because LGB are a team that don't actually have the skill of the other teams, but they have actually some of the strongest T halves in the business at the moment. So, and their Mirage is really good. So I'd really recommend watching them if you're interested in how they go about these different phases. Because one way you can kind of conceptually think about it is and we made this point about Nuke, I think, that different parts of the map gives you different options, and it affects the other team differently as well. So that's going to might force certain rotations. It might force them to move here, there, or wherever else. You just have to pay attention to what's happening when you have these areas and what becomes possible when you have these areas, and just think of it in that way, and you can start seeing more of what's possible basically for your options when you're going into the attacking side in Counter-Strike. So yeah, lots of interesting stuff. Check out LGB. I'm a massive fanboy of them at the moment. Any teams you think people should watch when it comes to T-sides on Mirage?
T-sides on the Mirage, I'd say Virtus.pro as well. Virtus.pro just playing insane everywhere, so I would say check out Virtus.pro.
They're full on beast mode.
Yeah, they are. Mirage is one of their best maps as well, so absolutely check them out.
All right, well, guys, I don't think there's much more to add other than that, but next stretch goal, 450,000 followers. When we get to there, we are going to be giving away a lovely Huntsman Blue Steel knife. Is that correct?
The one you saw in game, yeah.
Yeah.
And an Asimov as well.
And as well. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching the show. We hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to cast more North American matches. Of course, we're going to be going live consistently. Maybe not at the best times for you guys, but please check it out if you're a fan of Counter-Strike. If you're still awake, if you don't value sleep, which I approve of, because of Counter-Strike. That's how our existence works. I wish I could never have to sleep and just cast Counter-Strike. But I'm making this outro really long and awkward. So James, how about you do the outro? I always do the outros. How about you go for it?
You were just talking absolute gibberish.
I know.
I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
Because you're like, this is an awkward time for you. No, it's an awkward time for us, not them. Yeah. It's 4 AM for us. But for them, this is normal time, Dan. And that's the whole point. I think we're doing it for them and their hours.
All right, okay, cool. Let's just not talk about...
No, you're not doing the intro.
Let's not talk about tombolas anymore. Okay. No more tombolas.
Okay, thank you for watching.